Ratchet and Clank 2016 was the most disappointing thing since every Ratchet and Clank game after Ratchet and Clank 3. Ratchet and Clank is a series I've never played. Look, I was, 0, I think, when the first game came out. It's a series I always wanted to play but never could. I owned a PlayStation 2, but only when I was a kid. Now all I own of a PlayStation 2 is one with, all of its cables are missing, so it's useless to me. And while I was a child, I had no money, so I couldn't really get the game. However, now is my chance. Recently, I supported Sony's Play at Home movement thing they're doing. They're gonna put out a bunch of games for free, one of which was a 2016 remake of Ratchet and Clank. So I decided to make this my entry into the series. However, it was a pretty bad introduction to the series and the games. Let me tell you why. First of all, this title screen just sucks. I've played movie tie-in games that have better title screens that isn't just a shot of space and a logo with a trademark beside it. Speaking of movie tie-in games, this game is a movie tie-in with that shitty Ratchet and Clank movie that nobody remembers. Seriously, I forgot it existed until I played this game. That film is exactly why this remake even exists. I guess they thought it would lead to higher sales for the movie or vice versa, but that movie flopped and barely even made half of its budget back. I trailed off a bit there, but let's get back to the game. After the shitty title screen, we get to choose our difficulty, and of course we begin with the classic, let's make a tutorial for people who have never played a single video game in their whole life, so let's make them do menial tasks before starting the game. Now that we are done with this boring ass tutorial, let's talk about the premise of the game. When I said it started with a tutorial, I was just talking about gameplay. It actually begins with an opening cutscene from the character Captain Cork, who's a mainstay in the series, in jail after a new prisoner joins him, and he decides to tell the story of this game about the now famous Ratchet and Clank, and so he does. This leads to one of the most annoying and worst aspects of the games, but let's talk about that later. For now, I want to talk about how much I hate this shit in stories. Now, don't get me wrong, this can be done correctly. However, this one isn't done good. Obviously, at some point in the story, Captain Cork is gonna betray our main character and be sent to jail for something at some point in the story. God, I hate this. Why spoil something like that to add some dumb gameplay feature that we'll talk about later? So, in this game, Ratchet has been living on a desert planet his whole life, and he wants to be a hero and join Captain Cork's group and be the hero that he longs for day from day, but he's stuck on this desert planet. Yeah, sounds just a bit familiar and also painfully generic. Anyways, it's time for us to go off to the tutorial in time to take the test to become a hero, which is a good time to talk about the gameplay, which is actually the best part of the game, seriously. The gameplay from Ratchet and Clank on the PS2 had some issues, like not being able to strafe while aiming. They knew this was an issue and fixed it by, putting it in the sequel. In this game adds that aiming your guns is easy and pretty solid. And this is from someone who's never really played any shooters on console other than Splatoon. Of course, it would be much better with a little bit of gyro, as that's how I like my console shooters, but overall, good. Lock-on system is fine. Off topic, but I think it's a little funny how the tutorial teaches you how to break crates when crates are already in the level. Obviously, anyone would hit those crates. It's at this point that we get one of the worst cutscenes I have ever seen in any video game. Just like anything in general. So after we've done this very boring tutorial, we get a scene introducing the egotistical Captain Cork, which isn't too bad, I guess. Nothing to talk about here. We get a scene of Ratchet being rejected for joining his group, and then, I'll just show you this
That heart isn't
transition.
tasting, as long as you're me. Next! Meanwhile, on planet Quartu,
Dr. Nefarious, the mad scientist who made all of this possible.
You can't just do that. This is such a mess of a transition. We get introduced to the main villain of this game, and by introduce, I mean not at all, because this makes no sense. We don't know who they are. Why should we care about them? Like, who are these guys? You can infer, obviously, since the story is basically Star Wars, that this is the evil empire, people that want to do something evil, probably involving a planet. It's obvious. But dear God, this is so messy. And to even make it more messy, this is an introduction to Clank. He's just there. Who is Clank? He's a not robot, the orc. That's Clank. That's our introduction to our second main character, by the way, and the villains, all happening in this tiny, tiny section with this random cut that makes no sense. And you're probably wondering, how the hell did it get like this? Well, this game is a movie tie-in game, and while in the movie there was a scene before this that didn't make it into the game, actually introduced in this stuff. However, we don't get that in the game. Instead, we get that. At this point, we get gameplay introduction to Clank, which this introduction is pretty good. Just some light puzzling with these repetitive chase sequences that are very boring, and also these repetitive animations that you have to go through 3 times because it's a kid's video game, gotta do stuff 3 times. This was very boring. And I don't really have much else to talk about it. He escapes, obviously, and now he's off to Ratchet's planet because convenience. And then we get this boring scene of them meeting each other. And we talk about why this sucks. This is generic, this is boring. They're suddenly friends. Ratchet is just this little, he's a good boy, he wants to be a hero, he's gonna save the robot.
Are in danger.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, who's in danger?
An army is coming. I must warn them.
Hang on, slow down. You've been in a crash. What do you say we get you back to my garage? I'll run a diagnostic and have you fixed up in no time.
Thank you. I appreciate the assistance.
It's no problem. So, what do I call you?
I suppose my proper designation is Warbot Defect B54296.
Maybe I'll just call you Clank. My name's Ratchet. Up and down. Yeah, there you go. You're a natural.
He comes with the news of the invasion, so off we go to, well, tell people of this invasion in one specific planet which is being attacked. This just so happens to be a 1-to-1 remake of the level from the first game, so off we go. Now I know you're probably saying, wow, you're dragging this on for too long, you should probably shut up, and I agree. Most of the issues are just gonna repeat at this point, honestly. It's just the same stuff over and over again. I guess I should mention about that one thing that Captain Cork does earlier on. He just bumps in and adds random unfunny shit to the story for no reason. I mean, I guess it would be funny to a 4-year-old.
Ratchet and Clank set out to fix their ship with the help of the plumber. Little did they know they would soon come so close to greatness, they'd be able to hear its mighty biceps ripple. But first, they'd have to tackle a brain-eating zombie T-Rex.
Hey, wait a minute. I don't recall no brain-eating zombie T-Rex.
Okay, fine, Killjoy.
So you're probably wondering, why are you so annoyed that the kids game is being a kids game? Because, well, that's not what I was told. I told the series had this cool little message about big companies and stuff like that, to this whole anti-consumer stuff. I thought it was a pretty adult story that children can enjoy too, one of those things. And it turns out it's true. Let me bring this up. The original game actually has a radically different story, and there's almost nothing to do with this remake. This remake is in fact its own thing that was made, well, for a movie. something that mainstream people can enjoy. Let's take a look at what the original did better that this remake is missing as an introduction to the franchise.
Final step, attach robotic ignition system. Thank you for using help desk technology.
And just like that, no time wasted. We learn that Ratchet is just trying to get off the planet. That's all. Not much else. He's trying to build his ship. That's all. And we get introduced to our second main character right away. No stupid tutorial, nothing. We learn about both these characters, who they are and what they are, and the goals, while using next to no dialogue too. That's very well made. Now how about we get to that introduction? Let's see how much better the original did it.
Interesting.
Guy!
You're quite handy with your wrench.
You bet. I built that ship with it.
Currently, I'm in search of someone who could be of assistance in saving the solar system. Do you know where I might find that fellow?
Well, he's on the radio every week. Other than that, no. Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
Now, we are about to be introduced to the main villain. Just look at how perfect this introduction was, how good it was, and then think to yourself, how the hell did they fuck this up?
Hello, citizens of... My race, the Blog, have a small problem. Our planet has become so polluted, overpopulated, and poisonous that we are no longer able to dwell here. But I, Chairman Drek, have a solution. We are constructing a pristine new world using the choicest planetary components available. So, what does this mean to you, you might ask? Using highly sophisticated technology, which you couldn't possibly understand, we will be extracting a large portion of your planet and adding it to our new one. Unfortunately, this change in mass will cause your planet to spin out of control and drift into the sun, where it will explode into a flaming ball of gas. But, of course, sacrifices must be made. Thank you for your cooperation.
Cut!
And if you don't like it, you can take your whiny, sniveling, snot-nosed populations, form a line behind me, and kiss my... We're still on? Well, turn it off, you idiot!
The people on those planets are hosed. Well, good luck getting Captain Quark to help you.
Actually, you could help me. If you could use your ship to take me to the coordinates contained in this infobot, I might be able to gather further information there.
Even if I wanted to, I can't. I'm missing a crucial component of the ship.
The robotic ignition system.
How did you know that?
I, sir, happen to be equipped with the latest in robotic ignition systems. My programming allows me to start any ship I choose.
So, I agree to take you to this wherever it is, and you get my ship started for me?
That is what I'm proposing.
Deal.
Damn, you see that? Actual character there. Small introduction of each other, but just like that, you know, damn, Ratchet doesn't really care about saving the world. He just wants his ship, that's all. So he agrees. That's the only reason why he agrees. This immediately sets up these personality types. Clank is all about we need to save the world, I'm a robot and I'm gonna save the world. Ratchet is much more, I don't give a shit about this, I just care about my ship and that's all. This is a good introduction to these characters, make them way less generic copy and paste. Not only that, but we get even more about the villain, and we get a scene that is much better on why Ratchet decided to name him Clank instead of being like, oh, you fell, your name's Clank now, Actual good writing.
Please return your appendages to the steering mechanism, sir.
Huh? Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, you can stop calling me sir. The name's Ratchet.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
You got a name?
My serial number is V54296.
Oops. I'll just call you Clank for short. Hang on.
So you see,
And then even more with the villain to establish why he's attacking this planet and what is even going on this planet. This is so good. So, this video has been a lot of rambling, so let me sum up in a little thesis statement on why I even made this video. Ratchet and Clank 2016 is a bad starting point for the series, an objectively bad one. Or is it? I mean, in terms of gameplay, it's a fine introduction. I mean, with me, it is my introduction. Thankfully, now I know this isn't how the series is. The average person is gonna play this game and think, wow, this is a generic, boring story. And what makes it worse is that if you jump into 2, it doesn't really make sense because the characters' personalities are different. There's no character development in this story. I've played more of it and I'm tempted to drop it because it's painfully generic at this point. But if you are a new player and you decide to go in a sequel, it's not going to be as good. It's going to be a lot of issues. This isn't a remake, this is some reimagining of the series done horribly in a generic way to try to appeal to the general public, which clearly didn't work because that movie failed. Trust me, this video was originally gonna be like an hour, but God, I found something about me. I hate doing videos on stuff I hate. This video was a good learning lesson, and I may not do this much often again. This doesn't even go into details like the music and how horrible the remix music was, deciding to go for this generic superhero sound instead of this cool industrial sound that the original games went for. It's not like the new one is bad, it just loses all of its character. Actually, I guess that goes for all of the game. it loses its character. I'm gonna end the video here. I don't want to drag this out for any longer like it already was. This video was 40 minutes and I was able to cut it down to this much. I know it's a boring rant and I'm not gonna do this again. Anyways, if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe too. We just reached 100 subs. Thank you so fucking much. I can't believe we actually did this. Thank you so much. But yeah, stay here for a little update on the channel. Well, I got a job, so I'm making money now, so that is slightly slowing down the process of making videos, so I have a proposition for you. I was thinking making smaller, less edited videos and putting them out like every Sunday-ish. I was thinking on the weekend, just as a little thing for you guys to watch. I don't know, maybe just gameplay? Maybe going through a famous franchise that I've never gone through. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, as a little hint for the next video, it will either be Sonic or Zelda related. It just depends. I already have footage for the Sonic stuff. Anyways, check the description for my Twitter. Check the description for my Discord server. See ya all later. Bye bye.